Hey loves, it's Elle and welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to do a little bit of a different video. We're going to be talking about a few kind of, I don't want to call them controversies, but stuff that I get asked a lot about. So we're going to talk about Purito's skincare kind of scandal, what's going on with Charlotte Tilbury, and the Hourglass situation. So if you want to know more about that, hit the subscribe button, share this video with somebody you think might like it, and let's do it. All right, so let's do, like I said, a little bit of a different video. I don't usually do these, but I get asked this almost on a daily basis for these three topics. So I wanted to break it down from my perspective and from the research I have done, and I hope that it will start a conversation that you can obviously do your own research and figure out where you stand on this whole subject. Or on these subjects, I guess I should say. So let's start out with this Purito sunscreen issue. And it got brought up because I love I want to get the name exactly correct. It is the Purito Sentinel Green UV Unscented Sunscreen SPF 50. And it's the unscented version that we're talking about here. I don't have any information about other sunscreens that they do. But I love this. I loved this sunscreen. It was so beautiful for, oily skin. It just was a showstopper in my books. There's an article from the cosmeticbusiness.com, which is, they basically do a bunch of, journalism on beauty news. So the situation is that this unscented sunscreen from Purito was looked at by an independent company, and basically they found that or raised eyebrows, that there weren't these two filters in them in this sunscreen. And how could they promote that being a 50 SPF without these two filters? So they went and had it independently reviewed by two different cosmetic chemists out there to see if this was true. And they actually found out that the SPF in this sunscreen is only at 19. Purito did put out a statement, but they actually deflected to their manufacturer, taking no responsibility, which is really a shame. This chemist says, he answered me pointing to a false SPF rating in the past, essentially saying that it's highly doubtful that the SPF claim on the Purito product is realistic. So like I said, they had it independently reviewed and it came back at 19%. So, and what Purito said was, as a brand, we have requested the manufacturer to develop an exclusive product for Purito for which we received this formulation. However, recently we have received a significant amount of inquiries on clarification of the SPF and PA index of the product, that when we decided to verify, once again, the manufacturer's registration with the KFDA, which is the Korean FDA, and the authenticity of the registration documents, we have assured that there is no problem. That is, it's a shame. It really is, because it, like I said, it was reviewed in Europe by two independent companies, and they found it to be 19. Purito says they are taking this situation as a lesson and check the details with more parties during the process of product development. So basically, they just didn't check their formulas right. They just didn't have any testing. So yeah, so that sunscreen is only at 19. So if you do have it, just know that it is not a sufficient amount of SPF and to protect the skin, and it's just a shame. So hopefully they do take this as a learning lesson and make sure they check their P's and Q's and dot their I's and cross their T's to make sure this doesn't happen again. So just if you guys wanted to know, that is the situation with the Purito unscented SPF that I've talked about in the past. All right, so let's go to Charlotte Tilbury. This is a sad topic for me. There are a bunch of different websites like Logical Harmony, Ethical Elephant, Free the Bunnies, Cruelty Free Kitty, all of that stuff too. Also, you can look, and I'll list them in the description box, that do a whole article on this situation. So in the past, Charlotte Tilbury was not sold in mainland China. In mainland China, if you do not know, products that are the final product that are going to be sold have to be, or are up for review to be animal tested. Okay, it's part of their policy. And Charlotte Tilbury never was sold in mainland China, so they were cruelty-free. Charlotte Tilbury clearly states on their website that they don't allow third-party partners to test on animals. The final products here in the United States or in Canada or any place like that are tested on animals. That is not a thing that they do. But when they made this choice to do some of these pop-up stores, so they were doing these pop-up stores, and you couldn't buy the product there, but you could try the product and then obviously buy it a different way in mainland China, I think in Shanghai. And it was kind of, it perked some eyebrows from the cruelty-free community. And when this was heard that they could be possibly up for review for animal testing, they actually pulled out. Charlotte pulled out and didn't do the pop-up stores. But then several months later, they were found out that they were doing pop-up stores in mainland China where products could be purchased. Okay, this is from Ethical Elephant. This is what they say. And they updated this in October 2020. It is currently unclear whether Charlotte Tilbury is 100% cruelty-free or not in 2021. Charlotte Tilbury has decided to open up pop-up stores in China where animal testing may be required by law for its products. They are currently, so Ethical Elephant is currently investigating this matter, but at the moment, they can no longer feel comfortable listing Charlotte Tilbury as being 100% cruelty-free. And that actually spans along the whole gamut of these types of websites, that they now, Charlotte Tilbury now falls into what they call a gray area, which a lot of products like that, there are a lot of brands that fall into the gray area that I get asked about. They'll be like, oh, but they are cruelty-free. They don't test on animals, but yet they do sell in mainland China, which again, like I've said, can potentially be tested on animals. So they fall into this gray space where, in my opinion, I think it's very sad, and I don't mean this in a harsh way, but kind of like they chose money over some of the ethical things that I hold valuable, which is animal testing and cruelty to animals. They chose money over that. And it's a shame because Charlotte Tilbury was one of those great cruelty-free brands that gave great products and that I've loved for a long time. And so it's a shame. So you can make up your own mind whether you choose to support the brand or not. Unfortunately, I can no longer support the brand until we have a clear definition or statement from the company on how it's going to look. They said that Charlotte Tilbury did speak, the brand did speak a little bit on this and said, oh, we will be notified if our products have to be tested on animals. I don't know how realistic that is. For the amount of brands that are in this gray area, are they notified every single time? I just find that hard to believe. So they're just basically waiting around being like, oh yeah, we're gonna sell and, you know, hopefully we're notified. That's what it feels like to me. And I could be totally wrong, but that's what my research shows. So, bummer. I'm really disappointed. I have a lot of Charlotte Tilbury in my arsenal. I'm not big into throwing out products like this because you've already spent the money on it. So if you have Charlotte Tilbury and you feel the way I do, use your products up because you've already spent the money, you've already supported the company. But then, unfortunately, in my thing, I'm not going to be buying her products anymore. So that is the deal on the Charlotte Tilbury. Let me know where you stand on this. Let me know how you feel about them going into the gray area and where you stand if you're going to be supporting the brand anymore. All right, so let's finish up with the Hourglass situation. This one breaks my heart because I am such a big proponent for Hourglass. They are, to me, one of the most beautiful standout products, or lines, I guess I should say, in most of the cosmetic world. Their powders are just something that can't be easily replicated. Now, obviously, as you know, Hourglass is cruelty-free, so this is not a cruelty-free subject, but it is a social subject where they're kind of getting called out. And one of my beautiful subscribers, Christy, has really said it best, and I want to let you know what the situation is, and you can let me know how you feel about it. So recently, Hourglass was called out online by a couple YouTubers and Instagrammers that they do not cater to deeper skin tones. And it's actually very true. I do find this to be an issue with Hourglass. But they had Christy says, their latest release has a woman of color and a beautiful model holding up the face palette, their new face palette. And they basically are portraying it as though these shades are dark enough to suit this model. The promo pics of the palette were photoshopped to look darker, but in reality, the palette was just as it normally is. These are not new shades. This was the fair to light medium skin tone palette. And so they also need, you can tell that Hourglass they know that they need deeper shades, but by photoshopping the photo, by claiming that this would fit this deeper skin tone is just a little it's deceiving, all right? And it is obviously very bad business practices and not very inclusive at all for different, different skin tones. And they also are using existing shades in this new palette. So again, it's not new colors. It's just a repackaging of these in a different way. And when you look at the pictures, yes, they look darker, they look newer, but when you go to the actual like Sephora or Hourglass website, it is the same colors that have been in the line for a long time. So overall, all in all, they are being, which is so weird because to be honest with you, I've worked with Hourglass for years. This doesn't seem like this is how they normally do business. I mean, honestly, when I've worked with them, they are kind and honest people and a great brand, but this is very deceiving and it's very outwardly not inclusive to all skin tones. And this deceivingness of these ads is obviously shows that they know they need deeper shades, and they need to cater to that, but yet they're not making more shades or deeper shades, which I'm hoping that they will come out and have a lot deeper shades and definitely a bigger shade range. But as it stands right now, with what's going on in the world and it's 20 and 21, I mean, there really should be an expansive shade range in their powders. So right now, I have just chosen to not use the brand and not buy from the brand right now until they kind of rectify this issue, because we all are one. We want everybody to feel included. We want everybody to feel that there is something for them, especially in such a large brand, okay? This brand is not a baby brand. This brand is not an indie brand. This is a very large brand. It's a luxury, cruelty-free, almost vegan line, okay? Their products are very expensive, so it just stands to say that they really should have gotten in front of this and made this a priority. So that is kind of the situation with Hourglass, and so we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, I'm going to be monitoring this. They could rectify the situation and come out with a statement that I have not seen yet on what the go forward is on this. But for me right now, I've chosen to hold back on one of my favorite brands, but because I stand for more than just loving a brand and accepting, what they want to do just and give them money. This is why I went cruelty-free, because I no longer could stand by companies that were allowing testing on animals. So this kind of goes along with it, that we all need to be thought of and we all need to be kinder and nicer to our animals and our planet. And so we'll see what happens with that. Let me know how you feel about that. Let me know what brand, if you're going to be supporting the brand. And I'll be trying to find dupes. I promise. I'll be trying to find, I've looked for those powder dupes for a long time. I know I've done a few videos on them, but there are a few others that I'm going to look into for sure. So let me know what you guys think. Again, this is just a new type of video. I just had to come on and have a discussion with you guys because I get asked about it a lot. And this is just my 2 cents, this is my opinion, and I want to hear from you. So I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the comments section. Thank you all so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Lots of love from me to you. Bye, Les.